Howdy who, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. I'm Tall Mike. I'm so glad you're here. Well, what do we got going on in the markets? Well, the bulls, they're still in charge, right? They're trying to push it up to new record, having a little trouble getting the Dow over the 40,000 level, but I think we can do it. We just keep printing the money. We can push this up higher. This market has a lot of complacency in it. People have just become very complacent. They assume that the market can only go up, and so far it has, right? I mean, 14 straight years, longest bull market in history. Will it continue to go up? Will they continue to push it higher? Right now they are, and I think we'll go up higher from here until we break down below the 20-day moving average. You have to play this to the top side, right? You have to join the bull run. Bull run, longest in history, may have some more to play out. Crack up boom is possible. Maybe we just get a blow off top before we finally turn down. But once we get below the 20-day, then we'll start looking to short. But right now, bulls are in charge, heading higher, going up. Nothing's going to bring the market down. We'll see. We'll see what happens. See how that plays out. All right, so let's get over to the real estate end of things. Now you got to love this. You got to love this. See, I have a few haters. I know it's shocking. Not everybody likes me, and that's all right. That's all right. I'm going to give my hat off to one of them. His name's Cap Pointer. Now, he pointed out, because he's good at pointing apparently, he pointed out that I have 150 videos within the real estate market. I say it's a real estate crash. Says real estate crash in the title, right? 150 of them. Now, it's nice that he's got nothing better to do but to count the titles, and that's great. Maybe he can put some timestamps on them for us. We'll see, but anyways, he thinks I'm insane. He thinks I've lost my mind. And maybe I have, I don't know. But yes, I think there's going to be a real estate crash. But Mike, nothing's happened yet in the real estate market. It's not crashing. Well, now I could argue both ways for that, right? In nominal terms, we've been pretty flat for the last couple of years, keeping prices up near record highs, right? All right, but in real terms, you see, people don't look at things in real terms. Now, we've been flat, but what has inflation done in the last 2 years? Now, the government, they're going to tell you that inflation is 3.5%. 3.5%. Now, I just can't believe that number, but that's their number, right? So your house has only dropped 3.5% each year for the last 2 years because it's remained pretty flat, right? Okay, so in real terms, it's come down. But now if you look at shadow stats, what's shadow stats? Shadowstats.com. What they do is they measure the way inflation was measured by our own government. They measured it back in the 1980s. The way our own government measured it back in the 1980s, you would have inflation running today above 10%. Above 10%. Now that's interesting, right? So, okay, so your house remained flat, but really it's come down 10% each year. So really it's down 20% already in real terms. Now, nominal terms, we've remained pretty flat for the last couple of years. In real terms, I would argue that we're down about 20%. I would argue that the rate of inflation is running above 10%. Now, why did they change the way they measured it? Well, because you cannot handle the truth, right? They don't want to scare the women and children. Heaven forbid, right? But the women, they go to this, well, men too. Everybody goes to the grocery store, right? 37% up in 2 years. I noticed that. I go do my own shopping. That's what happens when you go to the grocery store. You get to see the real rate of inflation. And it's not no 3.5%. Just not. It's up above 10%. You have to measure things in the way they did back then. Now, back then we had this guy named Paul Volcker, right? Paul Volcker, he came in and he raised interest rates to 18%. Who do we got in there now? We got Jerome Powell. I don't want to raise, I'm going to cut. He is a weak man, in my opinion, right? I mean, to fight this inflation, he'd have to get above 10%. He'd have to go 12, 14%. But I can't do that. All the banks would fold. He's correct. All the banks would topple over. But the government couldn't pay their debt. can't pay their debt now. Why don't we fight inflation? Because it would hurt his rich friends. You see, rich people get hurt if you don't let things inflate. Who gets hurt when things do inflate? That's the poor people. That's the middle class. Poor become homeless. Middle class becomes poor. So he's going to let things inflate. He's waving the white flag. He has no guts to raise interest rates where they have to be, which would be above 10%, because that's where the real rate of inflation is. So the home prices have been dropping about 10% a year in real terms. Now, I'm a macro guy, and I've taken economics classes. I've got my economics degree. I'm an economist. So I talk about things in real money. See, I know what real money is. Real money is gold and silver. Now, the stuff they hand you out, that currency stuff, right? That just lost its purchasing power, lost 98% of its purchasing power. 98%. Gold and silver have held their purchasing power, right? Now, if you look at houses compared to gold and silver, houses stayed flat, gold went up by 50%. That means your purchasing power compared to gold has gone down already by about 50%. Now, but Mike, you can't say that houses have gone down 50%. Well, I can if I'm measuring them in terms of gold. In the last 2 years, houses flat, gold up about 50%. Now, right now, gold's going parabolic, right? I mean, it's going up. Silver really going parabolic, right? $5 up in just the last couple weeks. I mean, that's like crazy, right? I mean, that's a good move for silver. That's nothing. You haven't seen nothing yet. Now, people, I've been preaching on the channel. You should protect yourself. Of course, you got to do what you got to do. Now, people say, but my gold's expensive. It's $2,500 just to get 1 ounce. And it is expensive. A lot of people don't have money. But I get that. That's why I say silver. I was pounding the table on silver when it was 20. Now it's, 30, 32 bucks? That's still dirt cheap. Dirt cheap, dirt cheap. Okay. But Mike, the high's only been $50. $50 is just going to be a stopping point with the way we're going. We're going to pass right through. How high do I think silver can get? Now, remember, I say the Dow is going to go 1-to-1 with gold. Okay, Dow's at 40,000. Gold's at 2,500. I think they're going to meet around 10,000. Mike, you saying the Dow's going to come down by 75%? I'm saying it's possible. Maybe we hyperinflate. Maybe the Dow goes to 100,000 and gold goes right up there with it. I am saying that gold's going to go 1-to-1 with the Dow. I don't know where that number is going to be. I will admit that. I don't know where that's going to be. I just know it's going to happen. Why? Because we have very irresponsible people in leadership roles. Government's going to continue to print money, going to continue to spend, going to continue, right? Fed, they're not going to fight inflation. They have no guts. We don't have a man in there. We got this little wimpy guy in there. Oh, I think I'm going to lower the rates soon. So Biden has a chance, and maybe he will. Maybe Biden does have a chance. But you see, that's not going to win the war against inflation. Inflation's going to come roaring back like you've never seen. I mean, you just keep going to the grocery store. You'll get a feel for what real inflation is. You haven't seen anything yet. You're going to see food prices double from here. And I feel sorry for people. I do. But you got to protect yourself is my point. Maybe get an ounce of silver, right? Everybody can save up, $32? Okay, costs $35 to get a physical ounce. I want to talk about that, right? A lot of people think that just being in the SLV is good, right? I mean, that is paper silver. Look, here's what they're losing control of. They're losing control, right? SLV, there's no silver backing that. But Mike, they say there's silver backing that. Look, that's a JP Morgan product, right? Okay, now they got the silver maybe, but they've loaned that silver out to 10 different people. There's 10 different people that have a claim on your silver. There's not enough chairs to sit in when the music stops. And believe me, the music's going to stop. Paper silver is going to be worthless. Don't get me wrong. I love trading paper silver. Look, I trade paper silver. I trade the SLV. I trade paper platinum. Platinum's as good as silver these days. Very inexpensive, right? And I trade paper platinum, PPLT, right? Okay, now, but that's just trading. I can't go get the platinum. I can't go get the silver. Look at the COMEX, right? They cannot no longer, what's going to happen here? Okay, there's going to be so many people that are going to want their silver, right? They're going to want to take physical delivery of silver on futures contracts. They don't have the silver if people want to take physical delivery. What do? They give the people their cash. They can give them cash because they don't have any silver. They don't have any physical silver. Now, they can print all the cash they want, right? Okay, and SLV is just like that. You can print all the paper silver you want, but you got no silver. I mean, owning the SLV is like owning a Bitcoin, right? Yes, there's a price, right? But there's no value behind it. Nothing behind it, right? So, I mean, you could be in SLV, you can be in Bitcoin. They both have a price. Both have a price, but they have nothing physical backing them up. Now, I know you millennials, you guys like that digits on a screen, that thin air, rarefied air as they call it, whatever it is. They like that Bitcoin, and that's great. I mean, you were at 70,000, you were at 70,000 a couple years ago, I mean, in real money, again, you've already lost half your money, and Bitcoin can come down another 80% from here, because that's what it does in nominal terms, but in real terms, it's actually starting to come down also, about 50%. Gold has made the run up, right? And it's stayed the same place it was 2 years ago now. Everybody says it's going to 100,000. I hope it does for you. Look, I got nothing against Bitcoin. There's 10 ETFs right now that I trade, and I can trade them in both directions, right? Up and down. And I love that. I love trading. That's what I do. I love to trade, and Bitcoin's great because it'll move 80% up or down. Okay, doesn't just go up, no matter what Michael Saylor tells you. Look at that. That boy ain't making all that much money. He keeps buying at the tops. He just bought again recently, so I'm expecting it to pull back down. That's just my take. But you see, here's what's happening in America. Your standard of living is actually going down. People don't know why they're unhappy. They have more money. They're making more money on their job, but it's not keeping up with inflation, right? It's not keeping up with the cost of inflation, so it's coming down. Okay, so what's going to happen? Well, we may go into hyperinflation. That I'm not sure about. Hyperinflation, what is it, 50% a year, 50% a month? I don't even know the technical term for hyperinflation, but it's a lot, right? And you're going to see inflation take off, but here's what I am sure about. The currency debasement. They're going to debase the value of the dollar is going to keep declining. It's going to keep declining. Every time Biden hands out money to forgive student loans, every time he sends money to the Ukraine, because he doesn't have the money, he's got to print it, right? And then he's got to get it from the Fed, and it's just a debasement of the currency. And people are starting to catch on. People are starting to get smart because they watch my channel. You and me watch my channel. Now the haters, they think I'm an insane fool out here just preaching doom and gloom. Look, I don't have anything to gain. I do this for fun. This is what I like to talk about. It makes me happy. Kind of weird, right? Because I see the opportunities coming. Right now, I see the opportunity in gold and silver. You haven't missed it yet. It's not even starting to take off yet. Nothing bad has happened. Wait till the bad stuff comes. But my point is people are starting to wake up. Costco selling $200 million of gold a month. Walmart getting into the action. China, they wait around the corner every time a jewelry store gets some gold in just to buy it because they know what it's worth. They know what's happening. They know that the currency is being debased. The currency is going to keep going down and down. Now, maybe your house stays level, right? Why? Gold keeps going up. Now, I keep saying that 500 ounces of silver will trade for the average price home. That's just my take, right? I think that'll happen. Now, in 1980, it was 800 ounces. You could take 800 ounces and you could trade it for the average price home. Why do I think this is going to be like 500 this time? Because we're going to overshoot to the downside when we finally come down. Well, everybody's so levered out. There's so much debt in the system that we're going to overshoot to the downside. What people don't get is real estate is a debt asset. It's a debt asset. People buy it with a debt. They buy it with mortgages. When that debt freezes up, the whole thing comes tumbling down. It's a house of cards. But your standard of living is going down. Yes, you have more money, right? Reason your standard of living is going down is because the cost of living is going up more than your wages are going up. So your standard of living is going down, and it's going to get worse. It's not over yet. They're going to keep printing money. If you think they're going to stop printing money, sell your gold. And gold might not be the best time to buy right now, especially on silver. Silver's had that big run up. You're going to see some consolidation. What is consolidation? Well, it's traders taking profit, right? They've made so much money in the last 2 weeks. I mean, we're doing the party dance. I know some of you that watch this are doing the party dance with me. And that's fine. You know, we love the miners, right? The miners have had a big run up. Miners aren't done yet, man. There's any pullbacks. I'm going to be adding to my mining positions. I got a lot of the miners. I love the miners. Very cheap here. Now, there's things I like that are even better than gold. One of them is platinum, right? Platinum. Platinum is a better buy than gold. But all my physical is in gold and silver. Why? Because gold and silver is recognizable. People don't recognize platinum coins, really. They're very hard to liquidate, let's just say. So my physical, I recommend gold and silver. But for trading, I'd trade some platinum, PPLT. Once again, had a big run up, wait for a pullback, but it's, I think it's a bargain here. Anyways, better than gold probably, but that's just for trading. For physical, I stack the gold and silver, and that's what you want to be doing. Get an ounce, right? An ounce of silver, right? $32, $35 out the door. Go to your local coin shop. You can go on eBay, some of the reputable dealers only. They're starting to be, see, as silver took off, right? There's starting to be these fake coins, right? And they're getting pretty clever, right? They can make it non-magnetic. They can make it weigh an exact ounce, but the dimensions are wrong. You got to be careful with buying the silver eagles now. Buy them from Costco. Costco's got them back in stock. Reputable dealers only if you don't know what you're doing, because there are some unscrupulous people out there that are going to take advantage of this big run up. And the run up's just getting started. Look, there's so many problems out there right now, but it's good that people are starting to wake up. People are starting to go to Costco, buy their gold and silver, going to Walmart and buying it because they want to get in the game. You're in the game if you have it, right? And you can get in the game with just $35 can get you in the game. This is just what I'm doing. You do what you got to do, but I'll do what I got to do. People, they're running out of money. They don't have money for Starbucks, don't have money for McDonald's. McDonald's coming out with that $5 value meal now. Man, they're actually going to lose money on it. They admit that. They're just trying to get people, please come back and buy McDonald's, because nobody's going there. Nobody can afford it in California. Shoot, man, these inflation, once again, more than the grocery store. Go to your fast food joint in California. We're paying $20 an hour to anybody that wants a job. And the prices, they're just tacking that on and passing it through to us. It's gotten really crazy out here. The banks are in big trouble. Everybody knows that. Look at things. People are starting to wake up. Your money's not safe in the bank. I sleep like a baby because I got gold and silver. Look at that's real money. The money that's in the bank, that's digits on the screen. That could be disappeared just like a Bitcoin digit. I'm telling you, this is just my take. This is just my worldview. Your worldview's got to be much different. Everybody's worldview is much different. But what you're getting right now in the precious metal market is this FOMO thing going. You had the FOMO in the houses, right? Fear of missing out. Everybody's getting in. You see, the FOMO happens on the way up. That's where the FOMO happens. So we got the gold market going up, and people are FOMOing in, but it's smart if they are. It's just the beginning. Look, gold's cheap. It's at a record high, but it's cheap. I'm hoping it pulls back to 2000. I don't think it will, but it's cheap right here. Why do I know? Because it's going to go 1-to-1 with the Dow. Dow at 40,000, down here at 2,500. There's a lot of room to move in this gold market still. You still have time to get in. 500 ounces of silver, buy you the average price home. That's just my take. Just my take. You do you, man. Maybe you want to go out and buy a home right now. That's fine. Maybe you want to go out and buy the Dow Jones Industrial Average. That's fine. That's what you do, and that's fine. You made the Moon Boys say they're going up. Ramsey says that's going up. Moon Boys say the stock market's going up. Bitcoin, of course, is going to $1 million, and maybe it is. I'm not here to say it's not. I'm just here to tell you what I'm doing. I'm buying gold and silver, and I'm glad to see people finally waking up, people starting to get in the game. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. Why not? Punch the subscribe button. Get out there, everybody. Enjoy the day. I got a little long-winded today. Bye-bye.